Thanks for joining us. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this edition of Economy Today, your informative business program on the operations and contributions of various sectors to the growth of the Nigerian economy. I am Zainab Obitin. Our focus today will be on the manufacturing sector, Nigeria's biggest driver of growth, in spite of the challenging operating environment over the years. The manufacturing sector have variously demonstrated the potential to boost economic growth and stimulate social factors of employment generation, wealth creation, and poverty reduction, owing to its forward and backward linkages to other sectors of the economy. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, in its annual general meeting report shows that the sector, which accounts for 11% of the Nigerian labor force, recorded an increased output of 52.7% in 2013 as against the 46.6% in 2012. This indeed is a welcome development and should continue to grow. Do enjoy this package after this timeout.
Introducing the exciting and delicious High Fiber, the soya-based meal rich in protein, vitamins and minerals. What's more, it's quick to prepare in 3 tasty ways. For your breakfast cereal, add water to High Fiber, sugar, honey or milk if you want, and it's ready to eat. For your solid lunch meal, mix High Fiber with warm or hot water in a bowl. Stir to desired thickness and it's ready to eat with your favorite soup. You can enjoy High Fiber with your beans in place of Gary. For everyday vitality and healthy living, eat High Fiber.
Another quality product from Spectra Industries, home of functional foods.
Nigeria is a country replete with men and women whose wealth of experience in technological innovation, enterprise development, and industrial capacity in various sectors of the economy has indeed contributed significantly to the growth and development of the economy. The discovery of crude oil in Nigeria in the late 1950s brought with it a paradigm shift from its preeminent developing industrial production base, and much emphasis was laid on crude oil production till date. This development has in no small way affected the nation's economic activities. So far, the nation's industrial potentials, especially the manufacturing sector, which can open up windows of opportunity in job creation and economic development, have largely been untapped as a result of various interests in crude oil production. It is on record that the manufacturing sector of any economy is regarded as a basis for determining a nation's economic efficiency. Dr. Frank Jacobs is the President, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN.
The performance of the manufacturing sector has been increasing lately, showing huge potential. For instance, from available statistics released recently by the Nigerian National Bureau of Statistics, the manufacturing sector contribution to the gross domestic product of this country used to be less than 5% a decade ago. In 2012, it increased to 8%, and in 2013, came to 9.3%. This is after increasing exercise. Secondly, the manufacturing sector real output growth increased from 13.5% in 2012 to 21.7% in 2013. Similarly, the capacity utilization of manufacturing sector increased from 46.6% in 2012 to 52.7% in 2013. All these increases in the indicators point to the fact that the manufacturing sector is doing well and is going to do better in years to come.
Despite the fact that the manufacturing sector contributes significantly to the gross domestic product of Nigeria, the sector have been bedeviled with various challenges which include multiple taxation, smuggling of banned products into the country, lack of affordable access to finance, poor road networks, unreliable power supply, Made in Nigeria syndrome, policy somersault, amongst others. Taking cognizance of the importance of the manufacturing sector in any economy, the present administration have therefore put in place appropriate policy, programs and projects aimed at effectively tackling some of the constraints facing the manufacturing sector.
Nigerian Industrial Revolution Plan inaugural speech by the President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, this year. He set a relative target of 10% as contribution of the manufacturing sector to the GDP, which in absolute terms translates to 5 trillion naira revenue per annum. Notwithstanding the challenges confronting the manufacturing sector, the manufacturing sector has been able to surge in terms of productivity in recent years. With sound infrastructure development and consistent government policy implementation as it regards to NIRP, I think the manufacturing sector is set to contribute significantly to Nigerian economy in terms of growth and contribution to the gross domestic product.
Paul Bededo is the current chairman, Food, Beverage and Tobacco Sectoral Group of MAN.
Present government has rightly pointed, the way forward. That look, importing food into the country is not sustainable. We have to start looking inwards and seeing what we can do, to support local production, of food items. This directly impacts upon our sector, the food, beverage and tobacco, sector. And so I started, by, calling on member, companies to start looking at the issue of, local content and see how we can optimize, local content in our products.
With a vision to see the manufacturing sector take its rightful place in Nigeria, the food, beverage and tobacco subsector is of the opinion that due to the available market with high number of potential buyers, protective measures should be put in place to curb the excesses of adulteration. Otumba Michael Daramola is the immediate past president of the food and beverage and tobacco subsector.
Adulteration of products is something that is, like we say in our meetings worldwide. Once you have a good thing, people try to fake it. It's all in the bid of making money. But Nigeria has a peculiar problem in the fact that the manufacturers that manufacture good products, they've come a long way in doing that. And then you find someone sitting at the back of his yard, latching in on that long effort that someone has made to make quick money. We have the regulating body of NAFDAC doing quite a lot in that area to assist manufacturers. We discover where they are having any fake products being manufactured. We call on NAFDAC, we call on the police. But the problem we're having is that it keeps reoccurring and at a very fast pace. Once you put in a protective measure to distinguish your product, they seem to catch up with you and also put the same protective measure. And I also believe that I think the pulse of the population, that is the purchasing power of the people, goes a long way to aid adulteration. Because those that adulterate, they come down a lot cheaper. And people just believe that, oh, well, it's the same thing. And it's a reflection of what they can afford to a large extent. So if, like the saying goes, when necessity is not available, availability becomes necessary. So that's it. But we are doing our best to ensure that we fight this issue of adulteration. Because in the food sector, adulterating any food product or drugs or food, for instance, it's like terrorism, because it's mass killing. Once you do it and people eat it, that's the end of it. So you could really call such a person a terrorist, someone that adulterates food that people eat or adulterate drugs that is for mass usage.
Given government's spirited efforts to unlock the massive potentials in Nigeria's industrial sector and to launch the country into sustainable prosperity, MAN believes strongly that the sector will contribute significantly to the growth of the economy.
The reform programs of the administration, as far as MAN is concerned, are very impressive. Take, for instance, the NII I talked about earlier. It is a masterpiece that is set to turn the economy of Nigeria around with respect to industrialization. The privatization of the power sector, the power sector reform, is helping the manufacturing sector, is helping the free sector of the economy, and I think the procedure for the procedure for that privatization is not only good, it's transparent and it's of world class. The automobile industry bill is already yielding some results, as previously closed down auto assembly plants are coming back to business and new companies are springing up in the auto industry. The petroleum industry bill, as well as the gas master plan, which are currently awaiting legislative approval, are well intended, and I think when they're fully operational, will be of great help to the manufacturing sector. These programs are credible and capable of increasing the manufacturing and industrial output of this country in years to come.
Paul Bededo, a seasoned stakeholder in the manufacturing sector, calls for proactiveness of manufacturers.
The way we have done that so far is acceptable, but we need to start looking at other ways, in innovative way. For instance, we have the tobacco sector. We know that they are cultivating, tobacco leaves, in the country. That is very commendable. We have forerunners, in the beverage industry. For instance, we have the breweries, looking at how they can do some substitution, raw material substitution, using local crops. That is very commendable. And we also have, other food industries also, doing, raw material substitution. And all this will help, to see that, our pressure on the foreign exchange for importation of raw materials is reduced.
Nigeria is a country that can manufacture, build things, and add value. With the manufacturing sector's contribution to the rebased gross domestic product, which currently stands at over 6.7%, millions of jobs can be created. The economy will be diversified. Our exports can be broadened, and the income of the government increased.
Possibly we are the biggest, sector, of the manufacturing economy. And if you look at the top brands, in the country, you find virtually all the food and beverage, industries, among the top brands, of the country. So, and if you talk of employment, food, beverage, and tobacco companies are the biggest employers of labor, in the country. So really, is probably the most important, in the manufacturing sector, and therefore contributing, its proper quota, to the economy of the country. If, for instance, the based economy, we have, manufacturing sector contributing about 8%, to the GDP. At least 40-45% is from the food, beverage, and tobacco sector. So it's a key component, in the manufacturing sector, of the company, and therefore, should be taken very seriously. And government should, be supporting, the sector with policies that will really, enhance investment in this portfolio.
Today, the manufacturing sector is Nigeria's biggest driver of growth, as Nigeria can boast of being one of the ortho manufacturing centers in the world, with the presence of Nissan and Peugeot amongst others in the country. Dr. Frank Jacobs believes companies that relocated will likely return to the country, given the various reform programs ongoing in the country.
The companies that relocated out of Nigeria did so for one reason or the other. But I think the infrastructure gap is the major culprit, the major reason, as well as other challenging problems affecting manufacturing, the operating environment of manufacturers. Luckily, the current government policies are encouraging the rail sector, and as a result, it's possible that sooner or later most of these companies will come back to production in this country. Some of the programs of government that are really helping to empower the manufacturing sector are the NIRB, power sector reform, the automobile industry bill, and the petroleum industry bill. Already the automobile industry bill is paying off, as Peugeot Automobile of Nigeria, PAN, Anamco, and some other companies are reopening shops, while new auto manufacturers are coming on stream, especially the Nissan and some other companies. So it's highly probable that, all things being equal, when these things come to full maturity, the relocated industries will eventually come back, and many new companies will be on stream.
Recently, the manufacturing sector recorded 22% growth in 2013 compared with 14% in 2012. The capacity utilization increased from 46.3% at the beginning of 2013 to 52.7% at the end of 2013, and further improvement continues to ensure that manufacturing in Nigeria truly becomes competitive.
We must attack all the problems at the same time, albeit maybe majority of them, the key ones: roads, the security, the power, and then the rest can be taken as they come along. So the policies, I would want to say that the government should keep up the intentions, because we've seen a lot of presentations. I've been at a lot of presentations by government officials, fantastic write-ups, fantastic ideas, but we just want to see them being properly implemented. So I presume that if we keep up the pace that we are doing and we are consistent with this, the Nigerian economy will get a lot better. It will definitely get. I see it's picking up gradually, but it's very slow. That's why I say it's struggling. It's struggling, it's picking up gradually. I don't know when. I can't really put my finger on a particular period. Let's say 5 years' time, 2 years' time, 10 years' time, I don't know. But I'm very optimistic that the country No, not with the potentials that we have. We are definitely going to get there. They will come back. They will come back.
Over the years, Nigeria has shown clear signs to the rest of the world that there is a determination to break off the shackles of underdevelopment and join the league of the industrialized world. Existing local players in the manufacturing sector have also attracted huge partnership, thereby expanding capacity and output. Duro Kutei is the Managing Director and Chief Executive of Spectra Industries Limited.
We know within the next even within the next 2 years, the number of products will be more than expected, because a lot of Nigerians are waiting. They've been waiting for something like this. All they need is the government support. And with quality equipment, a lot of good products will be produced. And a lot of farm produce will be utilized to the extent that farmers will be happy, because they will grow and find market, and the processors also will be in a good position to export. And we are assuring the government that we will not disappoint the government on this NIRP, because we have seen the light and we have seen that this will work.
History has shown that no nation has become prosperous by relying only on export of its raw material endowment without putting in place vibrant manufacturing and related services sector. Paul Bededo is of the opinion that backward integration will go a long way to position the manufacturing sector for global competitiveness.
We need to be more aggressive. We need to have what we call the backward integration, plan, in the sector. What do I mean by this? If, for instance, you are in the food business, like in ours, what about backward integration into cassava and cassava processing that we can, use, to blend, flour and produce a composite flour. That in itself will reduce whatever percentage we have in the composite of cassava flour, reduces by that much, the quantity of raw material that we will need to import into the country. And we can look at, various, food items like that we can really do a backward integration and see that, we start, supporting our food businesses and make them sustainable. Because a situation whereby we continue with raw material importation cannot, be sustainable in view of, the growth in population that we have, in view of the demand, for food and different kind of food from the consumers, and in view of the fact that, globally, commodity prices, are not stable, and whenever we have impact, of environmental problems, then commodity prices, skyrocket, and in that respect, we become slaves, to such, instances in life. So we need to start looking at how we can support our own businesses by going, into agriculture production and agricultural processing. Indeed, agribusiness, is what the food sector and the beverage sector should be looking at supporting, so as to make their own businesses sustainable.
Introducing the exciting and delicious high fiber, the soya-based meal rich in protein, vitamins and minerals. What's more, it's quick to prepare in 3 tasty ways. For your breakfast cereal, add water to high fiber, sugar, honey or milk if you want, and it's ready to eat. For your solid lunch meal, mix high fiber with warm or hot water in a bowl. Stir to desired thickness and it's ready to eat with your favorite soup. You can enjoy high fiber with your beans in place of gari. For everyday vitality and healthy living, eat high fiber.
Another quality product from Spectra Industries, home of functional foods.
And that is how far time will permit us. I do hope you were well informed. No doubt, we are a country that can manufacture and add value, given our manufacturing sector's contribution to rebase gross domestic products, which currently stands at 6.7% and still growing. This will definitely help to diversify our economy and broaden our exports, among other benefits. You can visit our website, www.promantroservices.com, in case you miss any part of the program. You can like us on our Facebook page, Economy Today on NTAI. To watch our previous episode, you can visit www.youtube.com/Economy Today on NTAI. I am Zainab Obetin. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Remember to go for your medical checkup. From the entire crew, we'd like to say a very big thank you for watching. See you next week.